Welcome to a surprise video. WoW expansions. New WoW expansion coming out. I saw a few people making like predictions, wish lists, stuff like that. Thought it'd be interesting to throw my hat in the pot. I was originally gonna just rant about the fucking game as a longtime WoW fan. But I guess we'll save that for a different video. I got a couple of like unrealistic, realistic lists of what I think is going to come in the expansion and what I wish would come with the expansion. It's going to be revealed on Tuesday. Already shitloads of leaks. A bunch of them absolute bullshit. A bunch of them absolutely believable with how stupid they are. Personally, obviously it is going to be Dragon Isles themed. If it's not, I'll be completely surprised, but I don't think Blizzard can do something like that. So Dragon Isles, everyone's been wanting it. I've been predicting it for years. I said that Dragon Isles would come, and that we would get a class called the Dragon Knight, and that every race could be a Dragon Knight, and it would offer cosmetics, like with demon hunters. Oh, scaly arms, scaly legs, little tail, little wings, little horns. You know, stuff like that. So, let's just get into it, I guess. We'll start off with the juicy stuff. The unrealistic predictions, unrealistic wish lists of the expansion. The biggest one that I've seen on some prediction, or like some leaks, quote leaks, is player housing. I feel like Blizzard thinks they tried it with garrisons, and because everyone thought they were dog shit, they're never going to try it again. Or the suits think no one wants player housing, well, otherwise they would have loved garrisons. But I think honest to God, good player housing would be amazing for the game. Something for people to work towards, because no one plays WoW just to raid unless they're a bot. Like, okay, you play WoW, you raid, you dungeon, then what? You get off the game and play something else? Or is that all you do? Every day you get on for 8 hours and play the dungeon? No, that's a lie. You're lying to me. Everyone plays WoW for the mounts, and for the armor, and for the pets. People love collecting shit. When people see a new mount, people want to get it. So I think having stuff for you to collect with player housing would be amazing. You'd have a backlog of shit to do, like, oh, let's add stuff to old raids for people that run raids constantly. Let's put in some Miss Pandaria themed stuff, some Cataclysm themed stuff, you know, with the Twilight cult. Throw in some Burning Crusade looking stuff. Every expansion has had a unique theme enough to warrant some furniture, some housing material. Like, if you really sat down artists and told them come up with some housing items for Wrath of the Lich King, you'd have so much material just off Grizzly Hills alone. So anyway, player housing, I feel like it's needed, but is Blizzard smart enough to actually do it right? One of my biggest gripes with player housing in other games like Final Fantasy, fucking hate the limitations. Why isn't it, like, even if you want to do neighborhoods, infinite neighborhoods? Like, I've seen some excuses like, oh, they're doing it for the PS3 hardware, the low-end users. Fuck them. Who cares? Infinite neighborhoods. Why is there not infinite neighborhoods? Why do you gotta fucking wait at a sign and hope that your name gets pulled out of a hat and you get a house? What the fuck? Like, and it's the whole, well, neighborhoods are good instead of instants because you get to see other people. No, you don't. I've literally been on the most populated Final Fantasy servers looking for houses, and have never seen the other occupants. People get on so they don't lose their house and log off. And if you see another occupant, they're AFK or they're just taking screenshots. I don't think neighborhoods are needed. They're a nice touch to see other people's houses, but I don't think they're needed. I think even instanced housing can be good. Another housing that I think was done amazing with how much freedom they gave to a player was WildStar. Yep, that dead game that died years ago had amazing housing. You could scale, rotate, do anything you wanted with any item, put it wherever you wanted. And yeah, that gives people the freedom to do absolute stupid, ugly setups, but you're not going to see it. Just let them be stupid in their own little instanced zone where you can make something amazing. So anyway, player housing, I think that should be a thing. Next one for unrealistic wishes is a 4th spec for every class. I just think adding a 4th spec for each class would be too much for the little indie developer of Blizzard for one expansion. I feel like they couldn't even do heritage armor for every race in one expansion. How could they fucking do a 4th spec, right? But, you know, my hope beyond hopes, my wish beyond wishes is that they've been working on it for years, and now, finally, after all this time, each class is going to get that banger 4th spec that everyone's always wanted. You know, the Caster Paladin, the Necromancer Death Knight, the... what is it? What Hunter spec? Because they completely turned survival into melee, but it's like butchered beyond belief. But I'm sure they could think of something with Hunter. A Dark Ranger, obviously. But I feel like that could warrant its own class. Mage could be Chronomancers. Healers. Priests could be like melee cultists that work with bleeds. Rogues could have a kind of dual-wield pistol motif. Give warriors their gladiator stance back. I've never seen a more fun gameplay from warriors than gladiator stance was, and I still don't understand why the fuck that was taken away. What an amazing, like, it's fantasy. Like, who doesn't want to just have a sword and a shield and just go ape on people? That's an amazing fantasy. You know, shamans having a pet class or a tank class. You can do so much with the 4th spec that I feel like it's being slept on. You don't need to make a brand new class for things to be interesting. Another one, the third unrealistic thing. No factions. Tired of it. There's no war in Warcraft. Every time they try to do, we're bringing the war back in World of Warcraft, they fucking fail miserably. Battle for Azeroth, failure. Like, you cannot do war in Warcraft. Just stop. Let's do away with the factions. The Alliance is fucking dead because everyone moved to Horde, to Raid, or PvP. And even if it's balanced now, it costs a shitload of money to transfer back because Blizzard wants that sweet dollar that they can't make faction transfers less than $20. So, no more factions. If you want to have factions, keep it small. Think Aldor and Scryer back in Burning Crusade. Amazing. Easy. You choose where you want to go. It creates factions on its own. Aldor players were hostile to Scryer players. Like, people talk shit to each other all the time between those two. I still remember choosing Scryer because my friend group at the time thought Aldor were boring losers. And Scryer was just the best. So do stuff like that, you know? You don't need to have overarching factions to where people can't interact with each other, players can't interact with each other, and you can still have the faction flavor of the Alliance or the Horde without the constant, oh, no, you're Alliance, we can't play together, sorry, we can't queue up for dungeons, we can't raid, we can't PvP. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Like, are you really looking at PvP when you queue up for a battleground and be like, oh, I'm fighting against the Alliance for the glory of the Horde? No, no one does that anymore. That was, you know, back when shit actually mattered. Vanilla, you know. No one cares anymore. If I was fighting against an orc or a troll and I'm horde on the opposite team in a battleground, I would not care. It's red versus blue. It's not alliance versus horde anymore. There's not really flavor in the battlegrounds to express that, like in the old battlegrounds. Think Warsong Gulch, Arathi Basin, Alteric Valley. I don't even know if I said that right. I've been saying that like that for years. That had a horde versus alliance motif. That's what the look of it all was. Every battleground added after that, look at the battleground and tell me that's horde versus alliance. You can't. There is no horde versus alliance look to the battleground. It's neutral. It's a neutral level, like a Overwatch level or Dota level. Not even Dota, never mind. Scratch that. Because at least that has like factions. It's blue versus purple from League of Legends. It's red versus blue. That's all it is. So just embrace it. Who cares? Like, that'll do away with any PvP queues, any, you know, imagery of balance between factions. It doesn't exist. I feel like, you know, there's no like, oh, Blood Oaths are overpowered anymore. Granted, I don't really follow it because there's not enough of a scene for me to care anymore. You know, why would I get on and play Battlegrounds when if I was a horde player, I'd have to queue up for, you know, who knows how long just to get into a match. Either stomp or lose, because that's all anyone does. It's a romp and you win in 10 minutes, or you just, you know, camp and spawn and it's done. So no more factions. Tired of it. Let people play with their friends. Let people play across factions. Queue up for raids. Join guilds. The adventurers should be their own faction, and the horde and alliance can have their own sub stories and shit. But primarily, the adventurers should be their own faction. You know, I feel like this is the most unrealistic hope, is to tell the story in the fucking game. I'm tired of these fucking books, man. Like, why is every major lore change or lore event happening in a fucking book? Why do we get on, you know, expansion day and we find out, oh yeah, you know, you remember that one character XYZ? Yeah, they're fucking dead. They died in the in that book. You didn't read the book, you moron? What are you doing? Like, I feel like the books should be used to expand on smaller stories, smaller characters doing side things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, or aren't like major players to the lore. You know, like these exploring Kalimdor, exploring Eastern Kingdoms. Those books are good. That adds more lore to the world, more exploration, more small stories. We shouldn't need to go into a book to figure out why the fuck Sylvanas became this 5D chess mastermind, mind-controlled, twin-souled, she-king queen of the fucking afterlife. Who cares? Why is that in a book? Why do I have to buy a book to read that? Should be in the story. Also, apparently, I didn't read the books. Why the fuck would I read that book? Especially after, like, everything. It expands more on the jailer as a character. Wowee, wouldn't that be amazing if the jailer was a character more than just his fucking nipples in Shadowlands and saying, I don't have time to deal with you, adventurer. I'm going elsewhere. And then just disappears into a portal. Every fucking time you see the jailer in Shadowlands, he says one line and just walks back into a portal. What the fuck kind of character is that? Why are we supposed to give a fuck about that character? That's fucking stupid. And you should not have to get a book at the end of their expansion to explain why you should give a fuck about that character. I just think that's so fucking stupid. Enough. Like, I get it, Blizzard. You spent a lot of money on payrolling these authors to write books for you. Make them write books of characters that people have always wanted to know about. How about Van Cleef's daughter? How about we get a book about her and the Van Cleef fucking story? That'd be amazing. A whole story about the Defias Brotherhood. That would be amazing. Chef Kiss. Give us a book about the Defias Brotherhood. Give us a book about smaller factions in the game, and just, add more flavor to the world, and not have books where it's like, This book is all about Anduin versus Sylvanas, and the whole Scourge, or the whole undead Forsaken trying to join the Alliance to meet their loved ones again. What the fuck? Where was that in the game? Why didn't we get that in the game? That was such a major thing in the whole what was it, BFA storyline, and it was in a book. Thanks. Yeah, fucking great. Probably the most unrealistic is for like the next one. I'd probably say even more so than the other ones is armor die, because that's primarily Blizzard's way of separating, raid finder, normal, heroic, armor tiers from each other. I still think we should be able to armor die. It would make matching stuff a whole lot easier, open up a whole lot more things. But yeah, who knows with that. That's not really a major one. Just think it would offer a lot more freedom. Man, I've just been rambling for quite a bit. So I guess we'll move on to like the realistic ones. Obviously, we're probably gonna get a new class, maybe a new race. Most likely, we're gonna get, what are they called? Allied races. Not bad, more content's always good. Personally, I don't think we need a new class. I think fourth specs would be, more impactful. But new class, Dragon Knight, probably got money on it. If it's a Dark Ranger, I'd be surprised if it's that fucking leaked class and a Invoker. That would be out of absolute left field, and I'd be completely surprised. A new race. The races I've wanted for a long time, we'll probably never fucking get, like the Vercool. Probably never gonna get that. But my dream of dreams, Tuskar. Probably never gonna get Tuskar. Murlocs, keep dreaming. I want to say I like the races in Shadowlands. I like the Venthyr. I like the undead guys. I like the deer people. Blue humans, fucking boring. Snore. What a dumb fucking look of a faction. Blue humans, amazing. I feel like because we can freely travel between those worlds, they might give us those races, even though I think that'd be a little lore breaking, and they'd have to kind of... I already think it's stupid as fuck that we could freely travel from the Shadowlands to Azeroth already. I would completely give up those races to do away with that shit. I want the Shadowlands to be locked away. As players and as characters, we should not be able to freely travel to the fucking afterlife. Whatever. Maybe a new race. Maybe we'll get like the Draconids or some shit, even though dragons as a race just transform into other races, so it would tie back into that customization feature of giving existing races draconic features like horns, scales, wings, tails, whatever. Another realistic hope is, I think, one they've confirmed maybe, or that they've at least brought back for this last patch, is a class set. I miss having warlock sets be constantly badass, rogue sets being badass. Like, I want sets to look different depending on the class and add that extra flavor. I want to be able to look over and see a warrior absolute beasting out in plate armor and looking like the warlord they're supposed to be. I think they dropped the ball on set theme in this last patch. I think they all just looked like the exact same fucking thing. And I've already seen, artists render more interesting and more unique class armor, even themed around this last patch. That's kind of embarrassing for fucking Blizzard. I don't know what they do all day. Yeah, class sets, want them back. Probably be back. Another thing on class that I want fucking class quests back. The best part of Legion was the order halls and the class quests. Everyone loved order halls and the class quests. Being able to feel like your class again is amazing. Being able to go on quests where it was tailored to you as a hunter, as a rogue, as a warlock, as a shaman, whatever. It was your class's story. Everything revolved around your class, and it was badass, you know? Being a huntsmaster, being a, chosen warrior, being the leader of the, what the fuck was it called? Earthen Circle? Probably not. It's probably not the Earthen Circle. Whatever the shaman faction is. You don't have to be the leader of these classes to have cool class quests. Vanilla had good class quests. I still remember having a shaman alt and unlocking totems and going on these small quests to unlock totems. I think that's great. I think we should have stuff like that. Bring back class quests. Probably one of the major ones that I want is for realistic, I guess, expectations is no more limitations on fucking transmog. The excuse has always been, oh, well, I need to see if the character I'm approaching is a mage or a warrior. What if I'm fighting them? Let's be fucking real. That hasn't mattered for years. The fucking BlizzCon Yeti onesie everyone can wear looks the same. If a fucking onesie is coming after you and they charge you with a fucking hammer, or if they start casting a spell, you're not going to be able to tell from far away. Who cares? Let's let transmog just go fucking wild. There's so many armor sets in WoW at this point that dropping the limitations for transmog would open so many doors for interesting looks for different players and to be able to actually make your character look like what you want. Warlocks and mages shouldn't be limited to fucking dresses. Warriors and paladins should be able to just dress how they want. There's already sets in the fucking game that look like leather straps for warriors and little bikinis, so you can't give me the fucking bullshit that it's like, oh, they need to look like warriors, they need to look like, I need to see their plate from a mile away. That hasn't been a thing. That excuse just does not exist. You cannot look me in the eyes and say the bikini wearing warriors coming after you look like warriors when they probably look exactly like the rogues that are wearing bikinis or the fucking cloth wearers. And it's like, cloth robes all look the same. So a mage, a priest, and a warlock, unless they're wearing class sets, look the same. And even then, some raids had class specific armor be complete separate items, so you could get shoulder pads from a warlock set that are a slight different color that you could wear on a priest, or that you could wear on a warlock or whatever the fuck. I feel like keep class sets obviously class specific, but anything from cloth to plate, fuck it, just let people wear it. Who cares? Let's see a plate wearing warlock, whatever. I've lost the ability to care. Or at least if you can equip the armor, you should be able to transmog to it. Like cloth wearers wear cloth, let leather wearers wear leather and cloth. Let male go male, leather, cloth, and plate. Warriors can wear fucking everything. Just let warriors be able to put on a cloth dress and beat down on people. Who cares? And at the very minimum, the at least giving me a bone, if you're not going to give me that, is if you pick up an item and you don't have it, you could still add it to your transmog collection. No reason why you should be able to go into a raid and pick up items, and even if you can't equip them, you're not able to add it to your fucking transmog list. Who cares? Why can't I just record that look when I pick it up? Just give it to us. I feel like at this point, video's long enough. I have so many other shit about WoW that I could rant about or just have stupid bullshit talking videos about. From classic WoW servers and what I think they should do to dream expansions and dream patches. I could do an entire video off how I think Hearthstone expansions are cooler than any WoW expansion we've got so far. At least recently. I think main Streets of Gadgetzan should be its own fucking expansion, and if not, at least a patch. What a dope fucking idea. And in fact, I'll probably make a video about that soon. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, this was kind of just off the cuff because the expansion is going to be announced on Tuesday. We'll see if anything I fucking hope for is in it. Maybe I'll make an updated video. Who knows? We'll see. Thanks for watching. See you.